Morning. Let's begin. So we'll take a seated position. Feel our sit bones, our tailbone rooting down. And connect to deep Ujjayi breath. And then, kind of extending your feeling sensitivity a little bit beyond your bottom and into the mat, below the mat. Learn if you can begin your breath there, actually beneath the ground beneath you. Feeling that breath that begins in the ground also emerges in the pelvis. And the abdomen. And the chest. So we're gradually extending and expanding our sensitivity from the ground and into the head. Feeling that wash of breath in the brain. At the top of the skull. And even expanding our sensitivity so that we're feeling the area just slightly above the hair, skin on your head. So we can change the shape of our awareness, really that simply. But to sustain a new shape, a new habit of consciousness, right, may take repetitions. So let's make this practice about the repetitions that help to reshape. Maybe it's repair that shape of consciousness. So for example, if I know I feel a lot of activity in my head space, and I don't feel like I have a lot of access into my pelvis, then maybe I play around today with reshaping, filling in, expanding my view and my sense of inhabiting body in the pelvis. Okay. Or maybe my habit, my shape is to discover that I'm always a little bit off to the side of my body. I'm kind of out there. So maybe just rerouting and playing with what shape and experience would occur if I kept coming inside and inhabiting my body. Okay. So these pathways that our attention takes, whether it's out there and here, right? These are part of our habits of consciousness. Now, how you draw that out, so to speak, has a lot to do with the quality of your breath and working with your attention. Okay, so we're going to work with our breath first. We're going to work Kapalabhati. We'll work rounds of Uddiyana. So it's a little bit like yesterday. If you need to change the cross of your legs, now is a good time. Some people's feet just need to move more. All right, so the Kapalabhati. Let's have this work as an attentional kind of workout, so to speak. You're feeling the sit bones. The pump of these Kapalabhati is right here, low belly. And feel for that wash, that pump of breath, almost like an elevator shaft, just making its way up into the core, up into the brain, into the top of the head. So let's take about 40 or 50 pumps just to feel if we can attentionally move in this core, in this vertical kind of pathway of body. Let's begin. For me, the image is just like a well, a pump. Kind of using that pump handle, that well handle, and that water's coming up from the ground, beneath the ground. It's coming up through the well. After those 40 or 50 pumps, let's now place soles of feet together, Baddha Konasana. And now we'll work a round of Uddiyana. You can use your fingertips on the ground, press soles of feet together. Inhaling, again, reach, feel beneath the tailbone. It's like you're still siphoning breath right from the ground beneath you, into the pelvis, into the core. Pause. Retain that breath gently. So letting the abdomen soften, letting the eyes be and become soft. The area around the heart can soften. Let's bring the hands forward. And in one swift, thorough exhalation, we get empty, we stay empty. I advise lowering the chin close to sternum, pull belly in, back, and up. So you're drawing from the perineum, the genitals. As you're pulling, you can locate and feel the anus, the musculature all around. We start to feel into this root system, this pelvic floor, genitals, anus. You may find that some of those muscles may feel immovable or non-responsive. So So you can start to get a sense of their resilience, their ability to be moved and contracted and relaxed. Okay, so we'll let that go. We'll do one more round, Uddiyana. Here we go. I'm using the fingertips to support a chest lift. Inhale. Feel beneath your bottom, breathing right through pelvis. So when we breathe in this manner, we're not doing so to be scientifically accurate, but to draw out new patterns of expanded sensitivity. So breathing from the ground doesn't make sense scientifically, but it sure does from a subtle perspective. Let's bring the hands forward, exhale everything out. Remain empty with the chin lowered close to sternum. Pull the belly in, pull it back. And you can feel what your pelvic floor is doing. There might be more activity on the right side or the left side or the front side or the back side. That's not uncommon. Release when you need a breath. Let's resume our Ujjayi breath. Having created just a few instances of searching, feeling into the pelvis, find out if your Ujjayi breath reaches there any differently, different like than some minutes ago. And this is how you will know. This is the knowing part. Oh, I know I'm reshaping my awareness because I can feel, right? Feeling is knowing. All right. Let's straighten out the right leg. I've got my left heel drawn in near groin. You could place it behind your hip if you love it. So I'm going with a shoulder opening move to begin. Left hand behind back. I'll grab the right thigh or right waistband. If you need a strap, you might want to just have it nearby. So, having put my left hand behind my back, grabbing onto something, I can feel my knuckles are on the right half of my pelvis. Feel that? Okay. So inhale, push those down, raise the right arm straight up. So that entire right side gets a little bit of a little stretch. And now exhale, reach with that right armpit. Reach for the right. Reach. And set that right hand down. Now, I'm still employing this left hand pressure. Kind of gently pressing down on the back of pelvis. And as I press down, I'm reaching my left elbow away from my collarbone. And in this temporary kind of reorganization of the shoulder, let's introduce some deep breaths into this left shoulder. It's part of this reshaping, this kind of trying on a new shape of our awareness. It's by trying on some new postures, positions, configurations with our physical body. Breathing into these temporarily opened states. Just letting our nervous system absorb these moments of difference. Our bodies can really only handle so much change, right? In our yoga and our meditation, of course, we like to help our bodies become really adaptable and resilient in change scenarios. So just by breathing into these new configurations, we're just trying it on, that's all. It's a little energetic dress up today. Now let's open up that left hand. Inhaling, straighten out that arm and raise it. So here we are in a chest opener, left arm, not quite vertical. And exhale, reach out. And in this temporarily more opened state of my body, just the front of the shoulder, the chest, slightly expanded ribs. I'll take some deep ujjayi breaths. And just let that newness be registered by my nervous system, by my body, by, letting breath play in these new ways. And side bend. Wrap that left shoulder, reaching the left arm more or less overhead. Now, if you enjoy feeling that difference, that little extra opening, stretch sensation in that left side of the waist, you can enable that by reaching that left sit bone down. Kind of drawing it down away from the ribs. One more very deep breath, reaching, letting that breath spread from the armpit through the ribs, through the side, the waist, and into that left hip. And inhaling, let's set that left hand down that we may press or walk our trunk upright. We are halfway freshened. Let's do the other side. It's like the equivalent of a mint. A half of a mint. All right. So right hand reach behind back and we'll grab on to thigh or clothing. This is just a little detail. But when I reach behind that right back of my hand or wrist, is contacting my left half of pelvis. So I'm just offering a little nudge, kind of a downward nudge. You feel the whole pelvis kind of shift. That right shoulder opens up. Inhale, stretch that left arm away from left sit bone. You feel that in the whole left side. Exhaling, reach with that left armpit. Reach away from your right hand knuckles. We'll set that left hand down. So my right arm, today I'm letting it do a lot of work, pressing that back of right hand down atop pelvis, reaching that right elbow away from shoulder, kind of clearing, unimpacting that AC joint, that head of shoulder joint. And open up that right hand for a little area of our body. Getting fluent in embodiment. And sometimes we're kind of playing with that shape, expanding it. These boundaries are quite pliable things. All right, and side bend. So taking the right arm, inhaling, stretch it overhead, wrapping shoulder. Exhaling, open up that right hand. Let those ligaments and those muscles on the back of your hand, let them work. Feel as a result how the palm and the wrist open up. Yeah, you really stretch out through that pinky and Merle. Really go through the pinky, the ring finger. Yeah. All right, inhale, bring that right hand down to ground. Use hands, push or press. Walk upright. Let us lie on back and prep for some abdominals. Have your roll, have your block. We'll start lying on back, feet off ground. Interlace hands behind head. Pick the feet off the ground, and here we go. So of course, we're going to bring a lot of kind of attention through this abdomen area. May it be loving, kind, observant, patient attention. Inhale into the low back and the low belly. Curl tailbone, exhale. When you reach out through the left leg, your elbows can turn slightly toward the right thigh. As you're pressing out through that left heel, let's draw the low belly down. Getting curious about what we feel there. Inhale, bend left knee. Feeling your breath spread into the abdomen and the low back. Pause, shift the tailbone or just apply abdominal pressure. Exhale, reach out through the right leg. Draw low belly down. It's okay to feel momentarily empty. Inhale, bend right knee. I'll talk through one more, because I'm pretty sure everyone's really familiar with these. Curl tailbone. Exhale, left leg out reaches. Elbows may reach slightly toward right thigh. Pull. Low belly down. Inhale, bend left knee. And feel that little abdominal pressure keeps the back on the ground. Exhale, right leg out reaches. Elbows may shift slightly toward that left thigh. Pull low belly down. Let's continue. Let's inhale, come back to center. And let's do 3 more on each side. That's it, just 3 more, and then we'll rest. So when you're ready, continue. We change the shape of our awareness. It just may be that we start to get a new perspective. Right? Perspectives are malleable things. The shape of our consciousness is a malleable, growable thing. Every time we work with our breath intentionally in this manner, we're part of that beautiful shape shift exploration. You start to play. Ooh, can I feel from my belly through my pelvis into my leg, into my foot? Ooh, does my belly connect through the heart? Cool, it appears you are through, or mostly through. Awesome. Grab your roll. Let's place roll between legs. And with our legs vertical, or mostly vertical, inhale into low belly and low back. Feel the breath kind of showing up in these areas of body. Squeeze. Keep squeezing. Hold that charge. Curl tailbone. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Exhaling with those low belly muscles now, pull that low belly down. Momentarily empty. Okay. Inhaling, set the head down. Hold, squeeze that roll. It's okay if that charge kind of builds up. Just, we can play with how much of that we can let build up. Exhale, head and shoulders off the ground. I'm letting myself get empty of breath, getting all the way to the end of the exhale, pulling low belly down. Working momentarily on those emptiness, those emptiness moments. Let's inhale the head down. Is a really cool way to get some stagnation starting to move. Squeeze the roll. Curl tailbone, exhale head, shoulders off ground. Maintain that squeeze. Extend. Draw your feeling sensitivity through the legs, through the feet. The whole body starts to wake up to this new shape. Pull low belly down. Inhaling, set the head down. Let's do the last 3 on our own, just the last 3. Irritability is a really good sign that we're starting to inhabit some areas that maybe we haven't visited in some time. So I regard irritability as a really good sign, or at least interesting. Now we're going to set up for bridge. This is where the block may be nice. Set feet hip width apart. The fingertips, when you reach them down, they can skim your Achilles, your heel cords. And with the feet active, inhaling, beginning that breath in that pelvis. Abdomen, lifting the ribs toward the chin. Exhale, let's come on up. So I'm shifting the tailbone toward the sky until the buttock lifts, until the spine lifts. Now, if you don't have a block to place under your bridge, you may have to create a little bridge variation for yourself. Because here in a moment, we'll be moving into half Virasana. So first, connecting to breath. We're just coming from these poses where we're breathing and kind of charging up the legs, the pelvis, the abdomen, the back. Very potent, vital areas of our survival messaging. Now let's just take some practice of gathering that breath from the pelvis, almost like escorting it through the core, through the guts, through the heart, into the neck and brain. Right hand reach down, find the right ankle, and begin to draw the right foot back. You may grab the foot and hold it. You might draw the foot back until the top of your right foot is on the ground. So my toes are facing or pointing at my right shoulder. Now, as our sensations are shifting in these shapes, these poses. We're going to play with this extensible, this like ductile shape of our awareness. So if you're registering a little more sensation or glow in that right hip, let's play with this. Can you begin your breath right in the heart of that sensation, the nucleus of that sensation? And spread that breath up and toward the heart. It might feel like your hip and your heart are in the same breath field. They're being experienced simultaneously. You can feel the hip in the heart, and you can feel the heart in the hip. And this is why we cannot choose ill words against our body, because to speak it to one area is to speak it to every cell in our being. Let's let up on that right foot. Half Forrest, now left hand, grab left foot. Just drawing that left foot back to a point where you start to register, my hip. There's sensations there. And in using your breath, bring all of that experience of the hip into the heart. Feeling those qualities of heart reaching and encompassing the hip. And when we release, we'll set that left foot down. Press the feet down until you register butt contraction. A working set of butt muscles. Let those butt muscles lift you, press you off that block. And even if those butt muscles are burning, that's fine. And start to descend out of bridge. So bring the upper spine down, the mid spine. Okay. And some people having exited bridge like a little more of a butt release. So if you need to draw your knees snugly against your torso, just you can hug them in, take a deep breath down into the back and the butt. And just let them know that's just the beginning, butts. Okay, let's turn over and prepare for dolphin. The version of dolphin we'll play with today is dorsal fin. I can show you, or partially show you, if you need to see it first. Dorsal fin can be worked with one arm and one foot off the ground. Okay, just as a bit of demonstration, if I bend my leg, I might be able to also reach for it with my hand. It's a wiggly scenario, but I just want you to see it in case you need to have your shoulders more securely remain on ground. All right, let's head in. We'll go elbows under shoulders, knees under hips, forearms straight out in front. Inhale into upper back, sides of heart. Curl toes under, exhaling the knees off the ground. All right. So let's begin by raising the left foot. Okay. Now, at any of these stages I'm describing, you want to simply remain at that stage and just work it. Please feel comfortable to remain right here, raising one leg. If you're playing around with removing elbow from ground, let's start by removing right elbow. Sometimes I'll let those fingertips stay close to the ground as I discover my balance. And if you're feeling adventurous, that right hand can reach back for that left foot. They might touch. They might wave at each other. Hint, this will not occur by rushing into it. Nice, cool. And if you do discover that foot, reach out through that thigh bone. That foot can be an elusive object back there. And let's set the right arm back down, place the left foot back down. And trading sides will start first with the right leg being raised. And you can remain right here. A next possibility is removing the left elbow from the ground, maybe keeping fingertips close to ground. And I like to bend, fold my right heel toward my butt. Then maybe a smooth hand reach for foot. And we'll set that left arm down, the right foot down. And gently set the knees down. I'll slide the hands under the shoulders. And on exhalation, we'll press back, downward dog. Inhaling, step left foot forward for warrior two. Connect to your deep Ujjayi breath. the brain over your pelvis. Relaxing the shoulders away from the neck. That's a move. Woo. Now press the fingertips away from one another, deeply away, revealing a momentary openness or broadness across the heads of your shoulders. And when you feel that slightly different shape in your body, backfilling that, if you will, with a different shape of breath. How do I bring a different kind, shape of breath into a different shape of body? Right, we're just getting some shape shift practice. So just have fun playing dress up, if you will. It's energetic dress up. Ooh, I feel a little more expanded there. I like it. Ooh. Feel a little clustered in there. Huh, how interesting. Okay. Reverse warrior. Inhale, place the right hand on the right leg, raise the left arm, and as you exhale, lift, reach. We're reaching to our right. And just like in the very beginning of our practice, I'm just kind of slightly shifting or reaching my left sit bone down. It's not a huge move, but it does start to lengthen and magnify some sensation around the left low back. Inhale, bring that left arm up and over. We'll plant it on the thigh for head to ankle prep. Place the right hand on the ground. If the ground is a little too steep of a reach, you could place hand on block. Feet active. It's a helpful way to keep the knee in integrity. Inhaling. Feel your breath in the pelvis. Again, the genitals. And even into the sacrum. Exhaling. Gentle pressure. Gentle pressure. Hand on thigh. Will help to nudge the trunk away from the thigh. So I work this like it's one part side bend and one part unlocking the hip. And so in this configuration, what does that feel like to breathe into the left low back, the left hip? Do you experience achiness or rejuvenation? And release. We'll walk the hands toward the front of the mat. And let's place the knee down. I'm going to work some variations of pigeon today. Walk the left foot across the mat, pigeon. Just as a setup move, I'm going to curl my right toes underneath. Inhale into the right hip, low back. And as you exhale, pull the right heel straight back so that whole thigh bone gets almost drawn, pulled gently back. And then you can place that knee back down on the ground. Pigeon. And having walked that right leg back, if you experience a slight reconfiguration of body, bring your breath into this temporarily kind of remodeled shape, if you will, and help the nervous system, help your heart, help your person kind of acclimate to this state of openness, this state of maybe edginess. Just giving ourselves a chance to marinate and acclimate to these states. Whether they're open states, depth states, dream states. Healing states. All right, inhale. Let's bring those hands under shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling, step the right foot forward, warrior two. Oh, reach arms out to side. What I think is super cool is that we don't even necessarily have to go to extremes to discover new states. So, rejoice. We don't have to be extreme. Right? We don't have to necessarily put both of our ankles behind our head to discover a state shift, a reconfiguration, a new shape of our awareness. Just really simply, press the fingertips out. Feel that slight openness in chest. Breathe into that new shape. Reverse warrior. Left hand to thigh, inhale, right arm up. Exhaling, reach that right arm to your left. Head to ankle prep. Inhale, bring that right arm up and over. Place hand on thigh. Place left hand on ground. This goes in front of left hip. Now, deeply bend the knees. That's how it becomes more focused in the groin and the hip area. Bend that right knee. Okay. Now, press out through both those legs. And with lips relaxed, feel your breath in the pelvis. Exhaling, gentle pressure. so often as we get into this move, I'll discover that the nervous system isn't totally relaxed, as evidenced by the contraction near the brainstem. So I invite you, hold the pose, hold the position, soften through the back of the neck and the eyes, and reconnect to your breath and feel if that softens. There you go. One more. Behind the ear. Let that area behind the ear go. And we'll release. As we set up for a pigeon, place the hands down, bring left knee down, walk the right foot across, lie the shin down. Staying connected to your breath. All of these transitions become our poses. All of our poses become our transitions. Okay. Now that I've got my forearms down, let's do a brief move where I curl the back toes under, inhaling into left side hip. Exhaling, reach back through that left heel as if to draw the entire left leg straight back. And then gently set that knee back down. Let your breath find the new shape. So if my habit is to evacuate my pelvis, maybe this is a perfect practice moment to shift a habit. What would that be like to breathe in and inhabit the pelvis and to feel the sensations? Inhaling, let's bring the hands back under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Just move sweetly and carefully. There's no rush for us. All right, brain cradling. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Brain cradling. So I'm in a warrior one stance, my left foot forward, and I'm bringing both of my hands underneath brain. I've found this to be an extraordinary, albeit simple, extraordinary nervous system, almost like a balm. This simple little hands-on can be like a salve for the whole nervous system. Okay? So it's very simple. Get my feet active, feel the feet, and then connect to breath. Lift up through the elbows, through the shoulders, not to pull the neck, but to feel the neck and the base of the skull relax into your hands. Now, some of you will like to keep these two hands on one skull hand position. I'm going to move my right hand to my low back. Okay. So I'm placing my right forearm across my pelvic and sacral bones. Okay, and if you like this position, what you can do here is right arm presses down as left hand cradles. Left arm reaches. And as you're reading and feeling the whole nervous system with either of these hand positions, because you really can learn about the readiness and the resilience or the resistance in your nervous system with these very simple handholds. As you start to breathe in through that spinal cord area, just feel how its readiness to move expresses in your body today. To me, this is a mandatory check before I embark on a process of change. If my person is resistant to change, there's no point trying to force a change. So I'm just tuning into my nervous system with my hands around my head or my sacrum, connecting to breath and asking, hey nervous system, hey brain, hey spine, hey voltage, is change something we could do today, or is this like another day thing? Okay. All right. So now, let's release hands. So maybe you got a sense of how your nervous system's playing today. We're setting up pigeon. Set the right knee down. And as you're setting up pigeon, have your strap nearby. Walk that left foot over. Now I choose for this pigeon my left heel very close to my groin. Okay. And I'm putting the strap around my left foot. My left hand reaches behind and grabs the strap. Okay? So this is the only move we'll do on this side for right now. My left leg is forward in pigeon. My left arm reaches behind my back and grabs my foot or the strap connected to my foot. My right hand I've placed out in front, almost like a cobra. So I'm going to deliver a little bit of hand pressure onto the pelvis. And I'll inhale. Use those strong legs, just like we did yesterday. A little pressure to lighten up through the core and the guts and the back. My right hand is purely in service of my back. So if I need to push the ground to feel better in my back, then I push the ground. If I need to pull the ground to lengthen or traction my spine, then I pull the ground. But my right hand is purely for the helpfulness of my low back. Now start that deep breath, connecting all these pelvic sensations right in and up to the heart. Do you feel the pelvis in the heart? And the heart encompasses and permeates and supports the pelvis. Not two, but one. remove the strap. Inhale, place hands down on ground. And as you exhale, just make a smooth, sweet shift into downward dog. Those of you who want a little more back release, make it turbo dog. Because as you engage those chest muscles, lengthen those sit bones away from your lats, you can bring a few deep, restoring breaths into low back. So turbo dog just kind of smooths out, wraps the lats and the back muscles a little differently than downward dog. All right, warrior one stance. Inhale, step the right foot forward. All right, brain cradling. That's us listening to our brain, our spine, our nervous system. Let's start with both hands at the base of the brain. And just that simple act, the purity of listening to our brain, our nervous system, our spine, may in and of itself be healing, soothing. So this is option one. An alternate hand position, I'll choose it today, is taking the back of your left hand to the bottom, to the sacral area. Okay, so I'm putting my whole forearm around my hips and sacrum. So either one of these hand positions are really great. And you'll feel some days, if you're inquiring, hey, is change a right course of action to take? There'll be some days your body's just like, absolutely not, I cannot. Right? But we're pretty resilient. Let's release. Right. We've got a pigeon with a strap. So set left knee down. Bring right shin to ground. Additionally, keep this right foot close to my groin. I'm using a strap today. Put it around the right foot. And the strap is for my right hand. My right hand goes behind the back. Voila. Okay. I should have mentioned this on the other side, but when I'm using the left hand purely in service of my back, I love block. A little bit of elevation or a little fingertip grab can actually help me create the lift or length that works best for me. So just it's another choice. Okay. So here we are. We've got this kind of tangled pigeon scenario. My right hand is effectively grabbing my right foot from behind. Inhaling, use your leg strength, press down a bit. Yes, this does activate the legs, But in that pressing down, I can afford to lift up. Exhaling, use that left hand. You can use it to push or to pull. And start to bring this pose, the flavors of this pose, use your breath, bring that in and through the heart and through the core. And as you contact your heart, let the heart encompass this pose. Let the pose be in the heart and the heart in the pose. So we really are doing yoga with our whole body. And release smoothly, carefully. Inhale, bring hands under shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Just one more little bit of shenanigans. If your back needs a little more release or relief, work turbo dog. When we do turbo dog, part of doing it spreads the back muscles. Okay. All right, chest opener in Warrior Two. Inhale, step your left foot forward. And we'll interlace our hands behind our back. Inhale, lift the chest bones away from the pubic bones. Now, if you're a human, this is a really sensitive line of the body, this front line from the pubic area all the way up across this vulnerable belly, this breastbone into the collarbone and the throat. Right? So let's just massage that area with our breath. So that lift for most humans is a pretty vulnerable moment. This is like a full exposure moment. And let's take this opportunity in our bodies in this open state, this momentary openness. Let's breathe into this momentary openness. It's like acclimating, like letting our body know, hey, openness might be all right. Release. All right. So we'll set our hands down and our right knee down. We're setting up this tangled pigeon. So we need our strap. We'll place our left leg down. This is where you might want a little wedge of support under your left hip. So, strap to left foot. My left hand goes behind my back and grabs the strap. Got it. Check. Okay, 2. Right hand will grab right ankle. So that's where you start feeling a little tippy, and that's where you need a little wedge of support. It does take a little bit of wriggling around. Okay. So I'm using my left hand on my back to find me some more space. Like I'm pressing to uncompress my back. So this may have a little quiver of vulnerability to it. How cool is that? That we could find these moments of openness or vulnerability, and we can start to breathe into those. Use your strong legs, press down to lift up. That'll help the back out a lot. There you go. And release. Our poses become our transitions. Hands on the ground will press smoothly back into downward dog. And then we've got a chest opener on the other side. Last couple of moves for this series. Inhale the right foot forward, warrior two stance. Connecting the hands behind back, lifting chest. Exhaling, melting those knuckles down. Yes, exposing that vulnerable neck, throat, heart, belly, and pubic area. Yes. So would it be possible, rather than covering or diverting our attention away from this feeling, what if I brought it into the heart? My belly's open, my heart is open, my throat is exposed. I let the field of the heart encompass and embrace all of these sensations. Right? And part of our staying in the pose is a little bit of an endurance builder, right? Okay. So let's release the hands. Last bit of pigeon. So left knee down. Wiggle that right leg over. Strap connects right foot to right hand. If you need a shim of support under your right hip, snuggle it in there. And then left hand, grab left ankle. Go around the left hip. Take the strap beside the left hip. Yes, so the strap that's on your front foot, let it go behind your left hip. And as the right hand goes behind the back, there you go. feeling the shape of your breath in this pose. And feel the shape of your breath where? That's it, Joy, nice. And I'll get my feet on that left foot really active. Yep, that little bit of flexing, that's it, Joy. It's just enough to kind of just, if I feel into the ball of the foot, it's usually sufficient to give me a hint more float. Yes, that's it, Joy, that's it. That's really cool. Good, bringing 1, 2 deep breaths more under that sternum. This is beautiful. This is beautiful heart work. Why not? Release. Phew. Take your time, disentangle, and do just a little bit of unwind. So let's step back, downward dog. And inhale your left foot forward for lounge lunge. Okay, so I set my right knee down and my right hand down. My left arm hugs my outer left thigh. I use hugging pressure, like I'm bear hugging my leg, so my torso turns left. The import of that torso bear hug is that it exposes the side of my hip, waist, and ribs. And that's where we'll breathe to discover relief for our back. The side, the waist, we'll breathe into it so we can find relief for the back. If I want to activate more leg muscles, there might be a few of us who are pretty flexible and can kind of hang out in our ligaments easily. You can enact more musculature by digging that left heel into the ground. I use a little downward and almost hooking action, and it turns on all of that leg stuff underneath. So some people just find it much more helpful when their muscles are working really strongly in back relief moves. All right, inhaling, let's unwind. Bring the hands down, set or step the left foot back, and lower belly to earth. Here. I'm going to do a little wave dancer, very simple move. Squeeze my inner legs together, or just reach them strongly back. And now inhale your belly into the earth. So your chest lifts a little bit. And then exhaling, the chest melts back down to the earth. So I inhale belly into earth. There's a little ascent. So my back muscles work. And then exhaling, all those back muscles relax and my chest descends. Let's take 2 more breaths like so. Those of you who know how to work the eyes to facilitate some of those nice back of neck, upper back muscles, can use that knowledge of developmental movement to help you relieve the back. Okay? All right, inhale, hands under chest. Exhale, press back to knees or downward dog. We address the last side. Here we go. Inhale, right foot forward, lounge lunge. Left knee, left hand down. My right arm bear hugs my leg. And the intent of the bear hug is to feel the bias in the left side. And if you need more support still for your back, right heel, press down. Inhaling, unwind. Now let's simply back out of here and get ready for Shavasana. So if you need to add a layer, do so. When you lie back, if you need additional support, like placing some pillowy props under the backs of your knees, or I always like putting my calves up on a couch. So there's lots of kind things if you detect some tenderness yet in your low back. And once you've found your rest position, relinquish any technique of breathing. So usually we employ an ujjayi breath to keep things warm and soundful. So I invite you to relinquish that. So instead of you choicefully breathing, feel that breathing occurs and your body is in that. Your body is in this brilliant suspension, this moment to moment living fabric, this breath field birthing this body. Yeah, this living, luminous field. And there's a body in it. Now, when you're ready, bend knees, turn to a side, only if you want, and press up. Namaste.